Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Top 10s. This time we'll be looking at the crew of Phantasmagoria of Flower Review. Now this one was a little weird as it's a game that has a big mixture of previous and new characters. Given how the game is significantly different from all the other Windows games, we can see why. So this list will feature mostly the new girls as the others have been represented pretty well in the original games. Just to show some love, you know? So without further ado, let's begin the top 10 Phantasmagoria Touhou pictures.
Number 10.
So in this day and age, if you used the internet before, then I'm sure you're aware of social media. It's really hard to escape it. I can't ever escape it considering I do YouTube. While YouTube is definitely different from your Facebook and Twitter, the social interaction with your fans and other content creators makes it feel like a social media to me. Some people post unique achievements and there are others who put too much information onto the web. Things we could live without knowing, like, I don't need an update on your baby every 6 hours. Look, I know you love your baby and I'm happy for ya, but how much time do we need to be notified about it? Just saying. Now this next girl is another case of posting too much on social media. You may be asking what the fuck, which I don't blame you. The commentary for the picture is that it's a nude filter for Aya. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to birds, but I'm gonna pretend and say that is the correct way a crow looks when they're naked. Either way, Aya has no problem flaunting her body, does she?
Number 9.
This next picture will also feature Aya, and don't worry, she's fully clothed here. YouTube safe, for now anyway. Unlike the last picture, she brought some friends along the way. A rather interesting crowd, I'll admit. Never thought of this. At first I was confused with this picture until I looked up the comments on what pool it belonged to. Apparently they belong to the bird yokai group. Now I understand Mystia, Aya, and Oku given their obvious wings, but Hina and Moku? Moku I remember has a phoenix motif and theme. Hina was definitely the weirdest one. Hina's name could mean either bird chick or doll. Dolls make sense given her background, but bird chick? Sure, why the hell not? I mean, she's representing with that beak right there, so I'll give Hina some credit there.
Number 8.
It wasn't until making this list that I realized the Prismriver sisters were in Phantasmagoria. I know, how the hell did I not realize that? I mean, they don't exactly stand out, so it was easy for me to forget. But yeah, the 3 sisters are in the game. The thing is, not all of them are playable. Lyrica, the youngest, is an unlockable character. Her sisters Lunasa and Merlin show up but only in Lyrica's route. So if by some miracle the sisters were somehow playable, I'd imagine Lyrica would be the playable one. But the chances of that are so unlikely that we don't need to be concerned about it. Anyway, let's see what Lyrica's been up to. Now I can understand why Lyrica would be near a grave considering she's a poltergeist. Super spooky. I'm not a tea guy myself, but if someone offers me a cup, who am I to refuse? That is, unless it's a trap. Marissa's not amused by it, either from her blatant trap or her cheeky ass smile. Not only that, this is Marissa we're talking about. You're gonna have to be a lot more creative if you want to take this ordinary magician down, just saying.
Number 7.
When it comes to fairies, we mostly think of Chiruno, Clownpiece, and maybe the 3 fairies of light. The one we really don't discuss is Lily White. I wanted to blame on the fact that she's a mid-stage boss and they don't get the most love, which is the norm. Unless you're Momoji anyway, and your popularity is absolutely ridiculous. So let's see what this fairy has been up to. Ho ho ho! What is this? Lily Black. It's been a while, huh? For those not wary, Lily Black first showed up in Phantasmagoria. The thing is, she's not a new character. In fact, she's just Lily White trying to cosplay as Eiki, hence the black part. The fans eventually dubbed her Lily Black, so it appears from the picture that Lily White has thrown away her old look and is now embracing her blackened look. That's my interpretation anyway. I'm fine with either. Actually, now that I think about it, how cool would it be to have some random black fairy announcing it's spring? I think it would be.
Number 6.
One of the newer characters that has shown up was Medicine, a doll yokai chilling in the Nameless Hill. I've talked about Medicine quite a bit in the Interesting Touhou Facts series, and especially that fucking hill. A rather creepy place that both humans and yokai don't want to be at. And that's saying something. We're gonna take a look at what life was like for Medicine in that hill. Holy Fuck. If you feel depressed by it, I can totally see why. It's no doubt painful to be burying a little girl like that, but I'm less depressed and more horrified than anything else. From the information that's currently out there, we don't know if the flowers have the effect of resurrecting anyone. The flowers there are poisonous, and for some reason they have the effect of turning a doll like Medicine into a yokai. If Medicine in this picture was indeed a human in the past, I don't know if she would have risen from the grave like a fucking zombie. Either way, if she was a human, her decaying face would not be pleasant to look at, let me tell you that.
Number 5.
Back in the day, when you needed light during the nighttime, you needed a candle. Before then, you were shit out of luck. Later on, with electricity, we had lamps and night lights. As a kid, I'm not gonna lie, those night lights were fucking lifesavers. I had one for a little too long, to be honest. Even now, I need some sort of light to sleep. Although those mostly come from my fan, which is nice as it's balanced. Enough light to be noticeable, but not enough to disturb my sleep. Thank you. And now we have smartphones for light sources, so you're never out of things to illuminate your dark room. Guess Loki doesn't have the same access as we do, but they make by, without a doubt. Hey man, when you lack electricity, you do what you gotta do. And if your partner so happens to be a firefly who can lit their ass to create light, who are you to argue with the results? I mean, if it looks stupid, but it works, it's not stupid. Quoted by some random person on the internet.
Number 4.
A popular character that was introduced with Phantasmagoria would have to be the judge, Eiki. Very straightforward when it comes to nagging your ass, black and white. Has no problem going to town on your ass, so you can avoid hell. Gotta give her some props on that. I would be too lazy to make people better. At least she's trying in her own right. When someone needs some discipline, she has her rod of remorse to dish out the pain. But let's see what the judge likes to do during her sparse free time. I gotta admit, I was not ready for that. I understand her ability is to judge clear good and evil, or black and white. But I never realized that also included her being the same colors as well. Again, mad respect on keeping with the theme. Aside from Eiki being an adorable panda, there's another thing this picture is showcasing. A parody of Eiki's pose in Bad Apple. I definitely chuckle from Panda Eiki posing like that.
Number 3.
I was just talking about popularity, and another high one in the list would be Yuka. She showed up a bit during the PC98 era and finally returned back in Phantasmagoria, being one of the few characters to come back from that era, the other one being Alice. She's considered a powerhouse from both eras. Even Zune stated that she's a very strong boss in Strange Creators, so motherfucker is no slouch. Not only that, Yuka is considered the original user of the Master Spark, an ability we mostly associate to Marissa. Considering Marissa's ability to copy people's spell cards, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. So let's showcase Yuka using that devastating move. I understand the Master Spark to be a vicious power. We mostly see Marissa using her mini Hakuro to unleash this beast of an attack. So it's not strange to see the Master Spark being fired from another object. I just never imagined it would be the umbrella. When in this formation, mind you. What is this, fucking Power Rangers? Where they gotta combine the weapons to use their super weapon? I mean, if that's what it takes to use the Master Spark, then sure, I guess. Though Lotus Land story showed it being used in a much more easier fashion, so I don't know what the fuck is Yuka's issue. This might be the only time Sanae can safely say she used the Master Spark. So there's that, anyway.
Number 2.
Thanks to Phantasmagoria, we gain a valuable punching bag, if you will. Like Mei Ling and Fanon, this person tends to slack on the job quite hard. We're obviously talking about Komachi here. The thing is that Komachi's slacking is canon, while Mei Ling is not. And Fanon has pushed it as far as possible. One I'm very glad for. A good lesson. If you slack on your job, prepare for the consequences. Although this picture doesn't showcase Komachi's laziness, which is surprising in its own right, it does showcase how Komachi could be like if she was a little more serious. I say more serious, but of Maka reminded me of anything, it was more on the badass side. Either way, I enjoyed this combo. Soul Eater was one of the few animes I watched in English dub. It was a fun series. Now Komachi taking the role as Maka, I could see given her scythe usage. Eiki as Soul is definitely an odd one, not that I'm complaining though. If Komachi decides to be lazy, the rod itself could give Komachi a beating. That would definitely wake her up.
Number 1.
This last picture involves a character I also forgot showed up in Phantasmagoria, and that's the punk band rocking, eel selling girl that is Mystia. Although she's a stage 2 boss, she's rather productive for a yokai, considering she owns and operates an eel or lamprey stand, and is also in a band with Kyoko. A very hard worker, I have to say. I'm impressed by her work ethics without a doubt. The unfortunate part is that while she's trying to do her job, it appears that someone is there to ruin her hard work. I do feel bad for Mystia, I really do. I just can't help but fucking laugh at Yuyuko's face. Like, holy fuck, what the hell is that supposed to be? If I was in Mystia's situation, I legit don't know if I would scream, punch, cry, or laugh at that point. Just to remind us, no matter what position Mystia may be, either a stage 2 boss, or even playable as shown in Phantasmagoria, she'll always be food to Yuka, and that's the lesson we should take from this. Not the best lesson, but whatever. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Which pictures were your favorite? Do you think Aya in the nude was spicy? Do you think Wriggle being in the nightlight was ingenious? Or do you think Yuka's Master Spark was a little wacky? If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, or else Yuyuko might be chomping on you with that face. And like I said, your reactions may vary. Either way, this is Magi, and thanks again for watching.